Hey, welcome. So let's just jump right in because we're going to talk about something that might honestly change the way you live your life. It's this idea of the freedom you get when you realize a simple, kind of crazy truth. Nobody is actually watching you.
Okay, do me a favor. Think way back. That one super embarrassing thing you did, maybe in 2015, maybe last week, the time you tripped, said something dumb, wore a really weird shirt. You got it in your head? Okay, well, I'm willing to bet you are the only person on this planet who still thinks about it.
And that feeling, that cringy memory, it all ties into this thing we're calling the imaginary spotlight. You know the feeling. We've all been there. It usually kicks off with a moment that feels, well, a lot like this.
So imagine it. You're just walking down the street, maybe you're feeling pretty good, you're in your own little world, and bam, your foot snags on the sidewalk and you do that little stumble dance.
And what happens instantly? Whoosh. That hot feeling floods your face. Your heart does a little backflip. It's just this full-body, 5-alarm fire of pure, uncut embarrassment.
In your mind, everything grinds to a halt, right? Every conversation stops, every person looking at their phone suddenly looks up, and every single pair of eyes is locked directly onto you. You can almost hear them thinking, judging.
It's like a giant Hollywood spotlight just flicked on from the heavens, pinning you right in its beam. All of a sudden, you're the star of a show you never, ever wanted to be in.
But what if I told you that entire, super intense, soul-crushing experience was basically a lie? A really convincing lie, sure, one that your brain is hardwired to tell you, but a lie nonetheless. So let's pull back the curtain on this biological trick. Yep, it actually has a name. It's called the spotlight effect. And it's a documented cognitive bias, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a glitch in our thinking. We consistently, and I mean dramatically, overestimate how much anyone is noticing us at all. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We operate like we're the lead in some huge reality show, and everyone else is tuned in just to see what we're going to do next.
Okay, but this is my favorite part. Because when you find out what's really going on, it's not just a relief, it's actually pretty funny. Let's get into the hilarious truth.
So, over here on the left, you've got your perception, the giant, burning spotlight of shame. But on the right, that's their reality. The guy you thought was staring at you was actually just trying to remember his grocery list. That group of people you were sure was laughing at you, they were looking at a cat video on their phone.
So, the amount of their mental energy, their precious brain RAM, that was taken up by your little stumble? Let's see, it's a big, fat 0. Nada. By the time the blush faded from your cheeks, their brain was already onto the next one of the million things they are worried about in their own lives.
And the reason is simple. We've all got limited mental RAM. We just don't have the processing power to care deeply about that many people. We're all the main character of our own movie, and that means in their movie, you're just a background extra. You're a blurry shape that walks past the camera for half a second.
Or to put it another way, especially if you're a gamer, you're an NPC, a non-playable character. You're just part of the scenery in the video game of their life. Now, I know that might sound kind of harsh at first, but stick with me, because it is the single most freeing thing you will ever realize.
Because this isn't about being insignificant. Far from it. This is about being free. This is what we're calling your liberty of invisibility.
Seriously, let that sink in for a second. Being an NPC is the ultimate freedom. The moment you truly get that nobody's watching, that nobody's keeping score, you are suddenly released from the prison of their imaginary opinions. The spotlight is off. You're invisible in the best possible way.
So, what do you do with this newfound superpower? You use it. You go try that hobby you were always too scared you'd be bad at. You wear the crazy outfit. You ask the dumb question in a meeting. You make mistakes, glorious, messy mistakes, and you learn and you move on because nobody else cares. You finally get to be completely, unapologetically yourself.
That heavy spotlight you've been living under your whole life, it was never even plugged in. It was an illusion. So now that you know you can just walk off the stage and no one will even notice, what are you going to do? What amazing thing are you finally going to let yourself do?